I exposed my brother's affair to his wife, and now my family has disowned me for ruining his marriage, even though he's the cheater who doesn't want custody of his own daughter. My older brother 33M has been married to his wife Molly 32F for 5 years, and they have a 2-year-old daughter. Recently, I found out that my brother had been cheating on Molly with a friend of mine. My friend confessed because she couldn't bear the guilt, and I immediately cut her off. I gathered hundreds of screenshots proving the affair, which had been ongoing for nearly a year since they met at my birthday party last year. My brother and I were best friends, so I was shocked and disgusted by his behavior. I believed Molly deserved to know the truth, even if it meant she might leave him. About a week ago, I confronted my brother and told him he needed to come clean to his wife. I showed him the screenshots, and he broke down, saying it started as harmless flirting but got out of control. Despite his tears and pleas not to tell Molly, I insisted that he had to tell her himself. When he refused, I told him I would. A few days passed, and my brother still hadn't told Molly. I decided to talk to her personally. During our conversation, she mentioned their upcoming anniversary beach trip, and I couldn't take it anymore. I told her the truth and sent her all the screenshots. She thanked me for letting her know and hung up. Later that day, my brother called, hysterical because Molly had left with their daughter. He accused me of ruining his marriage. I blocked him after the call. The next day, I learned he had been served with divorce papers and Molly was seeking full custody, alimony, and most of their assets. Despite the chaos, I couldn't feel bad for him, knowing he had cheated for a year and wouldn't have stopped if not for my friend's confession. My brother has been relentlessly texting me, blaming me for his situation and demanding I fix it. My parents also believe I overstepped by telling Molly and that I ruined 3 lives. They think if my brother had confessed on his own terms, they could have worked things out, which would have benefited their daughter. They believe I should have stayed out of it, even though I gave my brother a chance to come clean. Despite the backlash, I believe I did the right thing. I didn't promise to keep the affair a secret, and I made it clear I would tell Molly if he didn't. It's unfair to blame me for his divorce, when all I did was reveal the truth. I had given him a fair warning and a chance to do the decent thing, but he chose not to. Update 1: I've decided to cut off my brother and the rest of my family. They are defending a cheater and blaming me, showing their true colors. Many relatives have also criticized me for how I handled the situation, believing I should have stayed out of it. But knowing Molly and my niece are doing better, I feel validated in my decision. Update 2 weeks later, I haven't heard from my family, which is a relief. Molly called to thank me again for telling her the truth. She had suspected something for months but dismissed it as paranoia. She left immediately after I told her about the affair. She's now living in a friend's apartment, and my brother doesn't know where she is. My parents and brother have been pressuring her to return for the sake of their daughter, but she remains firm in her decision. Update 3: My parents have been guilt-tripping me, sending photos of my brother looking miserable. I feel bad but don't see what I can do. They finally revealed they want me to convince Molly to lower her divorce demands, as my brother stands to lose a lot. He's not fighting for custody, only visitation rights, which he doesn't deserve. Update 4: I recorded my parents' call and sent it to Molly, hoping it would help her in the proceedings. She was upset but thankful. She now plans to fight for full custody without visitation rights for my brother. Update 5: Molly appreciated my support and reassurance that she's doing the right thing. I feel better knowing she and my niece are safe. My parents' continued support for my brother despite his actions disgust me, and I'm glad I've cut them off. Update 6 months later, I've had no contact with my family, and Molly got everything she asked for in the divorce. She and my niece are doing well, and I visit them often. Molly even bought me a professional camera as a thank you gift. We've both lost someone we love due to his actions, but we'll get through it together. Update 7. It's been a year since everything came to light. Time has a way of putting things in perspective, but some wounds still feel fresh. My relationship with my family remains fractured. After the last phone call, it was clear that reconciliation wasn't in the cards. Despite occasional attempts by extended family members to mediate, I've held firm in my decision to stay away. Their betrayal cut too deep, and I couldn't simply move past their willingness to defend my brother's actions. Molly, on the other hand, has been rebuilding her life with admirable strength. The divorce proceedings were tough, but she came out of it with her dignity intact and secured a stable future for herself and her daughter. She decided to pursue further education and has enrolled in a part-time course to get a degree in social work. She says it's her way of turning the pain into something positive, hoping to help others who find themselves in similarly devastating situations. Our bond has only strengthened over the past year. We've become like sisters, supporting each other through the aftermath of the betrayal. My niece is thriving, her laughter filling Molly's home, a sound of resilience and hope. I've been there for all her milestones, from her first words to her first steps, and it's been a joy to watch her grow. Update 8. I've also been doing some soul searching and making significant changes in my life. Watching Molly's courage inspired me to pursue my own dreams more fervently. I quit my mundane job and started my own photography business. It's something I've always been passionate about, and with the support of Molly and some savings, I took the leap. Business is slowly picking up, and I'm finding fulfillment in capturing moments that matter to people, knowing the importance of preserving memories. In the process of setting up my business, I reconnected with some old friends who have been a great support system. They've reminded me that not everyone will betray your trust, and I'm slowly learning to trust again. One of these friends, Alex, has been particularly supportive. We've grown close over the past few months, and he's become a confidant. It's too soon to label our relationship, but his presence has been a comforting constant. Update 9. My brother reached out a few months ago. He's been attending therapy and wanted to apologize. It was a tentative step, and while I appreciate the effort, I'm not ready to forgive. He admitted that losing everything was the wake-up call he needed, but it doesn't erase the pain he caused. I told him as much, explaining that while I don't wish him ill, I can't have him in my life right now. It was a difficult conversation, but necessary for my own healing. My parents, however, have remained silent. I've heard through the grapevine that they're disappointed in me for not trying to mend things, but they've made no effort to reach out directly. It's a bitter pill to swallow, knowing they still side with my brother, but I've made peace with the fact that some relationships can't be fixed. Their absence is a stark reminder of the cost of doing what's right, but I'd rather stand alone with my integrity intact than be surrounded by those who condone deceit. Update 10. A few weeks ago, Molly and I took my niece to the beach, the same place where they were supposed to celebrate their 5th anniversary. It was bittersweet, seeing the joy in my niece's eyes while knowing the pain her parents once associated with the place. But it felt like reclaiming something that was tainted, turning it into a symbol of new beginnings. We built sandcastles, collected seashells, and watched the sunset, a quiet reminder that life moves forward. Molly and I talked about our plans for the future, sharing dreams and aspirations. She's thinking of starting a support group for single mothers, drawing from her own experiences to help others navigate their challenges. I plan to collaborate with her, using my photography to document their journeys and create awareness. Final update. Today marks a 1.5 years since everything changed. Reflecting on the journey, I see growth, pain, and strength. My brother is still in therapy, working on himself, and I hope he finds the peace he needs. My parents continue to support him, and while it hurts, I've accepted their choice. My path is separate from theirs now. Molly's support group is up and running, and it's already making a difference. Women come together to share their stories, find solace, and build each other up. I photographed their meetings, capturing moments of vulnerability and strength. These images tell stories of resilience, hope, and the unbreakable spirit of women who've faced adversity and come out stronger. My business is thriving, and I've found a sense of purpose in my work. Alex and I are still close, and while we haven't labeled our relationship, his presence is a source of comfort and joy. We're taking things one day at a time, and that's enough for now. Molly and I continue to be each other's pillars of support. Our bond, forged in the crucible of betrayal and pain, has become a source of strength. We've created our own family, one built on trust, respect, and unconditional support. My niece is surrounded by love, growing up in an environment that values truth and integrity. Looking back, I have no regrets. I did what I believed was right, and though the cost was high, the rewards have been worth it. I've lost some people along the way, but I've gained a deeper understanding of myself and the importance of standing up for what's right. Life isn't perfect, but it's real, and it's mine. And for that, I am grateful.